Our top story now, in the Manipur government has issued shoot-at-sight orders in extreme cases as violence in the state spread to capital Imphal. Security has been strengthened with the deployment of 55 army columns and around 500 personnel of the Rapid Action Force. A riot control police have been flown in. They will join the army, Assam Rifles and the Central Reserve Police Force and the state police, who've been struggling to contain the violence that started on Wednesday after tribal groups protested. Union Home Minister Amit Shah held 2 meetings online and spoke with chief ministers of Manipur and neighbouring states. Curfew has been imposed in 8 districts. Mobile internet services have also been suspended across the state. Let's go across to Ratnadeep now for more. And Ratnadeep, what is the latest that you're hearing?
Well, the latest update that we can share is that at this moment, the curfew in Manipur, 8 districts to be precise, out of 16, continues. In fact, what army sources are telling us, they have been able to bring the situation under control, and there is a sense of normalcy returning in areas like Kankopi and More, which were, which have seen a lot of trouble in the past 24 hours. But the army at this moment is concentrating on Churachandpur, which has been the epicenter of this violence, and the state capital Imphal. We are not hearing any fresh violence in the morning as of now, but army columns throughout the night, they have they patrolled, flag marches have taken place. Riot control police has been airlifted yesterday. Several sorties have been made, and in fact, today, more central personnel and army personnel are being airlifted. In fact, army is airlifting its personnel from Guwahati and Tejpur. Indian Air Force transport aircrafts have joined this operation. In fact, Union Home Minister Amit Shah and Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh had several rounds of video conferencing, teleconferencing throughout the night. That's what we are picking up from Chief Minister's office. A new security advisor has been appointed. Former CRPF DG Kuldeep Singh has taken charge. Additional Director General of Police Ashutosh Sinha has been made the overall in charge of the operations that are taking place to restore normalcy, and now the central forces have taken charge. So the state police is only helping the central forces. The central forces, and in areas which are most vulnerable, in army and Assam Rifles are leading this operation. Shoot-at-sight orders are in place. State government has confirmed about loss of life, although they have not given out numbers as yet. Several people are injured, admitted in hospitals, including an MLA, we are told. So the situation at this moment remains tense. In fact, close to 10,000 people have been shifted to safer places, particularly relief camps. They have lost their properties, their homes. They have fled in fear of retaliation. There have been attacks and counterattacks. Particularly yesterday and day before night. Army spokesperson we did speak to, and they're saying that the priority at this moment is to control and bring stability. So in the areas where situation is under control, now the focus is to bring stability, and there is still a lot of palpable tension, and the situation remains tense. Even as center has stepped in now, and it's central forces who have taken charge of the entire operation.
All right, Ratnadeep, thanks so much for joining us with the latest developments there. We're also joined on the phone line by Anita Sharma. Anita, the centre taking all steps, more security forces there being flown in. The Home Minister also spoke yesterday with the Manipur Chief Minister and joining states Chief Ministers.
Yes, Gagi, the Union Home Minister apparently held 2 video conference meetings and spoke with the Chief Ministers of Manipur and also the neighbouring states. There were back-to-back meetings happening in North Block in which senior officers were participating, including the Director Intelligence Bureau, also the Home Secretary, and even the CRPF Chief. Now, after those meetings, it was decided that a retired IPS officer, that is the former CRPF chief, Mr. Kuldeep Singh, was sent as a security advisor. The reports reaching from ground to North Block were that the local police was not acting in time. Even if they were being informed of a situation in a particular area, they were not reaching there on time. And that is why the Ministry of Home Affairs decided to send their own teams, their own companies. We are being told that 12 companies of CRPF, including 6 companies of RAF, that is again a right control unit of CRPF, have already been flown to Imphal. In fact, on May 4, MHA had also sent a letter saying that it requested to MOD that it requested to facilitate airlifting of forces from Mumbai, Jharkhand, Gujarat. 2 companies were also being sent from Delhi also, and forces are also being flown from Amritsar to Manipur on urgent basis. And all CAPS are pooling in their bits so that adequate number of boots are there on ground in Imphal and adjoining areas. The situation was tense. Last night, when we spoke to senior officers, they were saying that next 24 hours are going to be very crucial, because the kind of images that were which were being played on social media and various other platforms, and the reports also indicated that the violence level was increasing. So, to curb, that is when the Union Home Ministry decided to send their own forces to take law and order situation from the local police. Now, as Ratandeep was also mentioning, the local police is now assisting the CAPF. Army is already on the ground in most sensitive zones. Many people have been evacuated. About 9,000 of them have been evacuated to the safer location by Army and Assam Rifles. So a well-coordinated plan has been put in place to get the situation under control. Kagi?
All right. Thanks so much, Anita, for joining us there with the latest. So very, very worrying situation in Manipur. Close to 10,000 people, in fact, have been displaced from their homes, and homes have been burned down by miscreants. Properties have been vandalized. Torch security forces had to evacuate them to safety. There are also reports of loss of lives and several injuries as well, but no official numbers there. NDTV travels to the border of the valley region with the hills, the epicenter of trouble, where across communities, hundreds of people are now homeless.
Manipur is under a lot of tension, with angry protesters coming out on the street and burning tires and even burning vehicles and homes in protest against the ethnic violence that is going on in the state. Solidarity march by the tribals, which was protesting against the Meitei's demand for inclusion under scheduled tribe. So large number of turnout, and even violence occurred during the protest, because there were counter blockades happening at the same time when this tribal solidarity march was happening. And probably we are hearing reports of number of fatal casualties, deaths and injuries.
इसी माफिक से हम लोग बहुत डर गया था ना. उसी टाइम से हम लोग भागते चला गया. पता नहीं क्या क्या हो रहा है. जो घर में आग लगाता है, दुकान तोड़ता है, लूटता है, पैसा, सोना, सब कुछ लूट के उन लोग लेके गया है सर.
So at the district boundary between Chulchanpur and Bishnupur, between the Meitei and tribal, some argument happens, and at the time we closed our shop and everything, and we are going out. What was the going on? But unexpectedly, it leads to violence. So it is happening suddenly. So we lock our doors, everything, and we run away.
All right, let's shift focus now to Maharashtra politics, and veteran leader Sharad Pawar yet to take a final call on a request to take back his resignation. But the NCP is clearing decks for a successor, and his daughter Supriya Sule appears to be the favourite. The committee tasked with choosing a successor will meet today to decide on the next step as instructed by Sharad Pawar, and sources say it can set in motion the process of Supriya Sule's elevation. Many have hinted that she'll also take on Sharad Pawar's mantle in the opposition. Well, let's go across to Saurabh for more on this. So, Saurabh, this meeting will be taking place today, the NCP committee to choose the successor, to decide the way forward. But the big challenge remains Ajit Pawar and his role in the party.
That's right. Obviously the NCP succession plan seems to have the stamp of senior leaders, barring Ajit Pawar. That's what, one picks up from conversations with sources. But at this point, really, all focus is on that meeting where the NCP's succession plan will be put in place, where in all likelihood, Supriya Sule is likely to step into the shoes of Sharad Pawar as national president, and that is something that perhaps is going to be key in terms of the succession plan. And the other thing to watch out for is whether Ajit Pawar will accept that decision or not, and whether he will be amenable to that decision or not. Now, Sharad Pawar's surprise stepping down announcement caught NCP workers off guard, though many political analysts and political observers in Maharashtra believe that Sharad Pawar is not someone who takes emotional decisions. His decisions are always embedded in real politics, and therefore there would have been enough thought given to his decision before he came out and went public with it. Though it did seem that at least many of the top leaders on stage within the NCP also did show surprise at the decision, but really all of that has passed. Now really it is how does the NCP go forward from here. That all important meeting to choose his successor likely to take place. If he doesn't change his mind, he's likely on whether he changes his mind or not, we are likely to know before that meeting when that committee meets, and there are likely to be more updates after that committee meets on which way the NCP will go. Will Ajit Pawar stay? There are also concerns about whether he will bolt. So obviously these are things that the NCP will be considering, though these will be behind closed doors and obviously not before TV cameras. But the focus really is on which way the NCP moves now. What role for Ajit Pawar? Because what sources tell us is that there's nothing planned for him as such specifically. But what seems to have had the stamp of approval from top leaders is Supriya Sule's ascension to the national president position of the NCP. So that is clearly the big announcement that one expects after the meeting, and also the fact that Sharad Pawar is in fact stepping away and the rethink that he promised is over. So all of these things are expected throughout the day, and we'll of course be keeping a close eye on all those political developments in the city of Mumbai.
All right, Saurabh, thanks so much for joining us with that, and of course we'll return for more updates. Let's take a look at this report on all these developments and what's expected today.
Sharad Pawar speaking directly to protesting NCP workers after Tuesday's surprise announcement that he will step down as NCP chief.
पण मला एक खात्री होती की तुम्हा लोकांशी चर्चा केली असती तर तुम्ही मला कधी होय म्हणणार नाही. जी काही तुम्हाला सगळ्यांची भावना आहे की नजरेसमोर ठेवून बाहेरून आलेल्या सहकार्याला विश्वासात घेऊन अंतिम निर्णय हा येत्या 1 ते 2 दिवसामध्ये करण्याची भूमिका घेऊ. पण ती घेत असताना कार्यकर्त्याच्या मनाची जी भावना आहे ती दुर्लक्षित केली जाणार नाही, एवढंच या ठिकाणी आता सांगतो. 2 दिवसाच्या नंतर तुम्हाला असं बसावं लागणार नाही.
Dr. Supriya Sule also appealed to protesting NCP workers to give her father time. But sources have told NDTV that Sule could be chosen as his successor to lead the party. Supriya Sule, who's widely tipped to be in Sharad Pawar's position, or at least the national president of the NCP, if Sharad Pawar does not reconsider his decision to resign, is now meeting protesters at the YB Chavan Center, and she's appealing to protesters to call off their protest at this point with folded hands. You can see Supriya Sule. In fact, the protesters are telling her, ma'am, we will sit here. Despite Supriya Sule's appeals, NCP workers remained unmoved, showing letters written in blood asking Sharad Pawar to reconsider.
The committee appointed by NCP Chief Sharad Pawar will meet on Friday, and this, as per our sources, will be the first step of Supriya Sule's succession as the next NCP president. Several leaders off record, and in fact some of them on record, have been endorsing Sule as the national president of NCP. But the big question for the NCP is will Ajit Pawar bolt?
Two of the contenders have ruled themselves out, State NCP Chief Jayant Patil and Senior NCP Leader Praful Patel. That leaves MP Supriya Sule and Maharashtra's Leader of Opposition and Sharad Pawar's nephew, Ajit Pawar.
देशात दिल्लीत बसणाऱ्या लोकसभेत किंवा राज्यसभेत काम करणाऱ्या आणि देश काही वर्ष संसदेत बसून बघणाऱ्या व्यक्तीने अशा जबाबदाऱ्या पार पाडायच्या असतात. पवार साहेबांना तो अनुभव आहे, म्हणून पवार साहेब यशस्वीपणाने देशभर राष्ट्रवादी काँग्रेस वाढवण्याचं ते काम करू शकले.
Sources say there is no announcement expected to create a post for Ajit Pawar as Supriya Sule is elevated. But the NCP is in talks with other allies like the Congress and the Uddhav Thackeray faction of the Shiv Sena to accept the NCP's claim to project Ajit Pawar as the chief ministerial face of the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi, as the NCP is the biggest party in the alliance and Ajit Pawar is the leader of the opposition. And with speculation that Ajit Pawar might be headed towards the BJP, there is possibility of even a split, which the NCP wants to avoid by placating Ajit Pawar.
पहिलं त्यांची पक्षांतर्गत जी काही घडामोड आहे त्यांना शेवटी अधिकार आहे त्यांच्या मनाप्रमाणे काय करण्याचा. दुसऱ्या कार्यकर्त्यांना सुद्धा त्यांच्यावरती तेवढाच अधिकार आहे. कार्यकर्त्याचा सुद्धा आपल्या नेत्यावरती तेवढाच अधिकार असतो जसा नेत्याचा कार्यकर्त्यावरती असतो. त्याच्यामुळे ते त्यांना मला असं वाटतं ते सगळ्यांच्या हिताचा जो काय असेल तोच निर्णय ते घेतील. आणि दुसरी गोष्ट काय 20 सल्ला कसं देणार त्यांना. आता थांबा ना, उद्या 5 वाजेपर्यंत ते काही निर्णय घेतात ना. आपण हे करण्यापेक्षा त्यांचं त्यांना.
The political uncertainty in the opposition camp is not likely to end even if the succession plan is cleared. With Sohit Mishra and camera person GD Shankar, in Mumbai, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
So that time for us to slip into a short break. On the other side, we'll go across to Maha for all the latest on the SCO meet in Goa today.
That's absolutely right. We'll be getting you all the latest details from the SCO Foreign Ministers meeting that will start at 10 a.m. here in Goa. This will be in the backdrop of the global flux that we are seeing, the geopolitical flux. What is the decision that these leaders will take in the run-up to the summit in July? All those details coming up after a very quick break.
Welcome back. Foreign ministers of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization are meeting today in Goa. This is to prepare the agenda for the group summit in July, where some 15 proposals will be signed off. There were also bilaterals that were held yesterday by the Indian foreign minister with Russia and China. Let's go across to Maha for all the latest. So Maha, give us more details of what's expected today. Also those bilaterals taking place yesterday. The Pakistani foreign minister is there. He's been posting videos.
Yes, the Pakistani foreign minister has been pretty active in posting videos ever since the start of his journey to Goa. When he was taking off from Karachi, he posted a video explaining as to why exactly he is going to India to participate in the SCO foreign ministers meeting. Because there have been questions asked even in Pakistan that if he is not even getting a window for a bilateral one-on-one with S. Jaishankar, then what is the need for the Pakistani side to go to the Indian side? So I think it was more for his domestic audience that he had put out that message saying that Pakistan has a commitment towards the SCO. Now clearly the SCO, which is a platform, Gargi, that has been started by Russia and China, and Pakistan being a close friend of China, clearly their participation in this was pretty much a given despite the ties between India and Pakistan. Yes, there was no one-on-one meeting between S. Jaishankar and Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, and largely because of the reasons we know since 2016, the stand India has taken that terror and talks will not go together. Meanwhile, today, what we are expecting to see, Gargi, is that in the SCO foreign ministers meeting, largely the agenda, as you rightly pointed out, is to build the ground for the leaders summit in July. There will be 15 decisions that will be signed off by the foreign ministers. These will now go up to the leaders level. The leaders may or may not choose all of these, but largely largely the agenda will be around these 15 items, which revolve around economic ties between these countries, trade relationship, security issues, cultural ties. All those aspects currently are the ones that will be in focus. Meanwhile, as far as the issue of Ukraine war is concerned, though it is not on the agenda, but sources have not ruled out the fact that member nations may raise that issue during their national statements. Each country has been given around 10 minutes to make their opening national statements, and it is perhaps possible that some of the countries may raise that issue. Similarly, for the issue of Afghanistan, constant questions have been asked whether Afghanistan can be included in this system, despite the fact that there is a Taliban regime there. Sources pointed out that none of these 8 countries presently members of the SCO have recognized the Taliban regime. So there is no question of Afghanistan being on the discussion table. However, if any of the countries wish to raise it in their national statements, they are free to do so. This is an important aspect because one of the reasons why the SCO comes together, and under the SCO there is a RATS forum also, which deals specifically with terrorism, and in that context the issue of Afghanistan becomes very important, especially for the Central Asian countries. Gargi.
All right, thanks so much, Maha, for joining us with all those details. So that's what's expected today at the SCO meet. With that, we'll slip into a short break. More news coming up on the other side. Stay with us.